can take a ride if you love soul music and folk to make a difference. We got good vibes, good music and good conversation. We vibing with Iyanla. Yeah, we vibing with Iyanla.
What's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Vibin with Iyanla, a podcast where I'm going to be providing you with the good vibes, the good conversation, and the good music. Today's episode, I have 35 keys, you all. 35 keys. Say what's up to the people.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
This is 35 Keys, everybody. Now, I'm going to tell you all, I always have to start with a backstory. I always start with a backstory of how I know the people that I'm interviewing on the show. First and foremost, you all, if you don't know, I used to formerly go by the Baldy Babe. I was a female waver. I had short hair. I was rocking 360 waves, and I built a pretty large following just because of my hairstyle. And 35 Keys was actually one of the people that followed me. Now, I'm not saying she followed me because of waves, but we connected because I had a thing going on for the bald girls, okay? The women with the short hair that were rocking the shortcuts. I was just the advocate. I promise you, I was just all for women with the short haircuts, and I still am. Don't get me wrong. But 35 Keys is one of the people that followed me. And one of the things that interested me about her was she played the piano, you all. And she still plays the piano. But she plays the piano. And a little fact about me is my grandfather played the piano. And I played a little bit of piano back in the day. But I'm not nowhere near as good as Keys here. But my grandfather played the piano, and with her, and I seen her vibe, her aura, just the music, the type of music that she plays, you all. It is everything that Vibing with Iyanla is about, the R&B, the soul, that vibe that she provides you all just through her work, her music. She produces songs, she writes the songs, she will sit there and just lay it all out right there for you all to see how she pieces it together. And that was something that I absolutely admired about her. I mean, super creative, super talented. So I went ahead and made sure that I followed 35 Keys back, and we have been pretty much cool ever since. I mean, she's one of the followers that she supports, she shares, she comments. Like, I see her, she sees me, and we have been pretty much connected ever since then. So today's episode, I am finally going to get the chance to hear her story, hear where she come from, how she became 35 Keys. So I'm super excited for this. 35 Keys, let's just go ahead and start from the beginning. Tell us, how did you get to where you are today?
Well, it started definitely when I was a young child. I was very kind of quiet to myself type of vibe. And no matter what, I always found myself around music, whether it was in school or church or just anything. Like, give me something musically to do, and 35 is all right. So it mainly started when I was about 6 or 7, I believe. I remember a picture. I don't know exactly how that came about. My grandma showed me the other day. My baby sister, she looked like a newborn, so I had to be like 5 or 6, and they had like this piano, for Christmas right next to me, and my granddaddy's smiling and he's pointing at it. So I'm like, that's crazy,
right?
Right. So at a young age, like, I was just always listening to music, Earth, Wind and Fire, Layla Hathaway, you name it, anything old school. That was kind of my vibe.
Okay.
And I was just like supposed to be learning like music theory and notes and different stuff. And my teachers was like, this little black child don't care about none of that stuff. So they was making me learn like September and Reason, stuff like that. And at a young age, I could pick it up like this. And from there, I just started creating and becoming 35 Keys.
So in school, were you in like band, or did you just take like a music class? What did you go to college for music? What did you do? What was the process there?
Fun fact, literally, this gonna be in a book. Elementary, we had like a music class where you played the recorder, stuff like that.
Right. Okay, I did that.
Was
hot cross
that was all
buns.
right. Very good. middle school, they would not allow me to be in band. My teachers literally said that they were afraid I would pick another instrument and I would move away from the piano. So what I ended up doing every morning, because mind you, I was
Wow.
literally like a loner type of situation, I would just go to school early in the morning, go in the band room, or my music teacher, there was two teachers, his classroom, and he had like 20, keyboards in there. And I would just play for about an hour or 30 minutes until the bell rings and go to class. And even during lunch, I was back in those same spots. So it's like, okay, y'all don't want me to do this or, anything else, I'm gonna make it work. And that's what I did every morning.
So what was the piano your first, that was like just love at first sight for you? Or did you ever find interest in any other instruments at all? Because I know you said the teachers are the ones
All
that were
of them.
like, nah. Oh, all of them. All right. All right.
Like, well, I think it kind of started with I always wanted to play the saxophone. I always wanted to play the violin. I thought the bass guitar, which I did claim as my own eventually, I always thought
Nice.
that was dope. But like my parents and people in school, I don't know why they're like, these are boy instruments or that's not appropriate. Da, da, da. And I'm just like, this is
Mm.
unbelievable. You get what I'm saying? But I
Right.
mean, my true story kind of elevated being at my grandmother's house across the street from me. There was this older blind piano player
Mhm.
by the name of Bishop Kendrick. That's what I called him. And his wife, who was a gospel singer as well, and they both were blind. And I remember
Oh,
one day,
wow.
like I was hearing some music. As I was outside, and God was with me because the way this thing folded out. I'm walking and I bumped, like he has like antique stuff outside his gate, and he says, I hear you out there. And I'm just like, he was like, you can come in. And I'm young,
Oh,
like I'm a child.
wow.
So I go in and I mean, everything in there is very old vintage, but he's playing this piano like never before. And his wife is like sitting in a chair on the side and she's singing these hymns. And I was like, oh my goodness. And
That's
from
how
that
you
moment,
knew.
I told my grandma, I was like, I want lessons. I want lessons. And she walked across the street with me like the next week. And he said, you know what? I normally charge people, if I'm not mistaken, he said $70 an hour for lessons. But he said, I'm not going to charge her anything because she has a gift. And that was like the greatest gift I
Wow.
think I received at such a young age. Like, this man is
So
blind and he sees something in me. You get what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. So what, like every day you were going over there, every week,
I
and
think, if I'm not mistaken, it was like every Thursday and Friday, or, you know,
so what were some of the things that he taught you that you still remember and use to this day?
the most memorable thing I think he taught me was like associating chords, like triads with the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. He did his best to make everything kind of spiritual. Even certain sounds,
Mm.
like the way he would play or like notes to get me to learn stuff, it was like almost biblical, or he would pull out a scripture. It was just like,
Oh, wow.
it was very magical in a sense. The first song, if I'm not mistaken, the first song I learned with him was Hallelujah. I don't know if you know that song. Hallelujah.
Oh, the hallelujah. Yeah,
Hallelujah.
yeah, yeah. I'm with you. I'm
Well,
with
it's another version of that. It's like a church version, but he did that. And at first I didn't understand it. Mind you, I was a very rebel child in my quiet innocence. And I'm like, can we play something fast
you.
or
Right.
something with some soul? And the more we would have to do that every time with the techniques and, simple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then watching him, all right, I got that. And then take it. And then he's, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. Okay, teach me that. That's what I need to
Right.
know, because that just moved me. It was just lessons throughout the whole thing. Unfortunately, he did die when I was about 14.
Mhm.
Um, and I think his wife when I was about 16. But his son, who stays in New York, and he's married to Diana Ross's oldest daughter, Rhonda.
What?
Yes, he
Wow.
comes down here sometimes and he'll give me lessons, or like for my birthday, I went to New York and he just was saying, go to Fat Cat or go to this place or that place, or that's going to be some good jazz. Or
Wow.
so that's another special part of my life.
So tell us, how did the name 35 Keys come about? Where did that come from? How did that come into the picture here? I mean, keys
So
obviously for piano keys, but I don't really know
yes,
because
yes. Listen, I've heard the craziest stories, like especially high school, middle school. They like, man, what's this? You in a gang? You selling? I'm like, I play the piano. They'll be like, so it's 35 keys on the piano? I'm like, no. Well, my dad was 35. And just that whole year, I don't know exactly what year, but I know he was 35. And I was very depressed, like very like young, but I didn't know really what was going on with me. And I became like really, really sad. And in the midst of it all, I was like, we got to get it together. We got to find some purpose, some push, some passion, or something. And also, my grandfather, who was like my dad, who raised me basically in this household, he had passed away. So I was just challenging with different things. I was like, I need something else. And I was like, I'm gonna be keys, something or something. And I dwelled on it for a few days, and I'm like, I'm gonna be 35 keys because people can't say Kalia right. I'm tired of hearing my own name. I want some individuality within myself. And I just knew at a young age, like I wanted to be an artist and I wanted something different. And it was different components. Like I was always listening to Alicia Keys. So I was like, I can't call myself Alicia. I got to do something different. So
right. So how did you, so in the process of, now you've went through school, you've grown up, you've matured, and now you're taking the piano and trying to turn this into a business, entrepreneurship. You're writing your own songs, you're producing music. How did that process come about? Just creating your own studio. How hard was it to find the equipment? Like, tell us that process.
I think it all really came about with again, like I was always doing the artist thing. I just never really thought it was okay because growing up, people would say stuff like, you need to focus on school, or you need to find a plan B, or just everything but, okay, this kid really likes music, she wants to make her own songs or whatever. Because at first it just started like that, making instrumental pieces and scores and stuff. Like, mind you, in my own time, like I was singing and coming up with stuff, but I was so scared. Like, people already said, girl, you don't need to be doing music that's not sustainable enough. But I was always doing it. And as I gotten older, I was just like, okay, I give myself permission to do so. I was doing gigs, a lot of gigs throughout Miami, with a lot of older vets in the industry, or church gigs, funerals, different stuff like that. And then when the pandemic hit, I kind of went back to my old music that I was writing for myself and writing out songs and stuff. And I was just like, I got to learn how to do this more because I see that it's something that takes up a lot of time.
Yeah.
So I would watch like YouTube videos and see what equipment and different stuff other people were doing or using. And then Amazon became my best friend and took all my money. And that's kind of what happened. Like, I'm still figuring out stuff like, okay, we could have waited, or this, device or equipment, it wasn't all that, but that's my business. And when I get some more money, I'll upgrade or something. But for now, it's getting it done.
So tell us, how did you feel when you booked your first gig? This is your first time you get to get in front of the public and show them what you got. How was that moment for you? What was that experience like?
I think my real first gig, I was playing with a group called Deep Fried Funk. They're like the owner of the group, he's played with like Kool and the Gang and different like artists, Betty Wright, different stuff in our community. And I was so like happy because I was like, why do they want me? Like, I'm 14, 15. This is crazy. I don't know if I'm gonna learn these songs right, but I'm gonna go. And I got there. We was at something down here called the Overtown Music Festival. And if I'm not mistaken, like Keisha Cole was there, Monica, CeeLo Green, different stuff. And we were the opening act. So man, I couldn't really hear my keyboard, but I was playing that thing. And then part of me was nervous because I couldn't hear, but I'm like, I gotta keep going. Somebody gonna see me. Da, da, da. And that first gig, there was another piano player there, and his was like the loudest. So I kind of felt like a moment was robbed, but I was like,
Ah,
whatever. There'll be more.
but like you said, I mean, that the fact that you continue to play, even though you knew that, oh, maybe they can't hear me, maybe something might be sounding crazy, I don't know, but I know that all these people are here, so I'm gonna just go ahead and do it. And you were doing it
Right.
at 14, 15, you know what I'm saying?
Like
So
14, 15, one of those ages. And I was just like, this is crazy. And I was part of me was kind of like, I may be doing like small parts here and there because normally when it's two players, like one person is playing like the chorus, the main parts, and the other one is imitating strings or horns. And I was the
okay,
other one on a few songs, but I was just like, one day I'm gonna be where these other artists are, like they're centered,
right.
they're telling their stories, people are singing their songs. And I think watching other people have that experience or just holding the mic out and being in awe of like that moment, I was like, I want that.
What would you say is your genre? Because I mean, I see you do covers. You kind of have, I mean, if I had to guess, I would say more of a soul type of vibe. But then
Hmm.
again, like you said, I mean, I've heard jazz, I've heard you have like a bunch of different type of genres going on. But to the person that they're just meeting 35 keys, they want to know what type of music you create. What genre would you, I guess, put yourself in?
Okay, so like I have a new account now, Instagram wise, but like my older videos, I always tried to implement some type of church like chords or neo soul R&B, something to take a song that was kind of like it was a hit or it was a vibe, but I wanted
Mhm.
that like okay, we could jam to this, or I can play melodies or different stuff and mix
Right.
songs together and people just know what it is or be like, that's a cool arrangement. That's kind of the vibe I was on. Now with my music and just knowing how the radio is operating mainstream, I was like, I want to do something different. None of my songs are about sex or drugs or anything. And there's
Right.
nothing wrong with that. There's an audience for everything. But my music was mainly about my life experiences thus far. Like
Mm,
I advocate mental health. And I feel like growing up, I was always told that my feelings weren't valid enough to be acknowledged or pray about
mm,
it or always, I mean, from a very young age, different family members. And it used to hurt me so bad. I would even say stuff like, why, auntie, don't bring the cousins around more. We need to spend more time. And I would get in
right.
trouble for speaking as if, I'm trying to be authoritative or whatever, whatever. So my original
Oh,
music, I'm talking about my family. I'm talking about my mom, my dad, because my biological parents did not raise me. And to this day, they still, have other kids that they weren't able to take care of, unfortunately. So I wanted to talk
mm,
about all that because the more I've been on social media and connecting with other young women and young men, they say, my great grandma raised me too, or my mom on drugs, or my daddy this, and da da da. And it was like that
right.
message or that song conversation. He was like, I need to hear something else. Like, I'm tired of hearing this song or this and that because really I'm suppressing my feelings, my pain, or I don't know if somebody else can relate to me. So it's taken me a lot of time, I think, to kind of really get the stories that I want because, like, right now, I have 4 songs I think that are completely done. I wrote every single part out, lyrics, everything, but it's almost 2 to 3 years in the making. And I know that's a long
Mm,
time, but I feel like God was really like, you can't just make a hit or you can't just do this and that. You're going to go
right.
through this. You're going to be able to connect with people with it. You're going to write some words that you actually feel. And then I'm going to move through it. And that's what I feel like my purpose is with music right now. It's like to tell the truth, whether it hurts, whether it's
Right.
good, bad, tell your story and I'll do the rest. And that's kind of where I'm at right now.
And I mean, people need that. Like, I mean, like people were telling you, like, I'm tired of hearing, F this, F that, these girls ain't loyal, these dudes scam him, do
Mm-hmm.
this, do that. Like, I mean, it's back to back to back. I mean, that's all you hear nowadays. So, I mean, just for you to have music that, like you said, you're being honest about. And I mean, like I tell people all the time, more people will relate to you than you think. You know what I'm saying? When you
Right.
are choosing to be realistic like that and show that vulnerability and explain, you know, your life journey, your story, everything you've been through, what you want to do, or whatever the case may be, whatever you're putting in your music. So would you say for you that music is like your outlet, like a diary, writing in your journal?
It
You're
most
playing
definitely
piano?
is. I mean, I get so many aspects of storytelling and just like journaling out my feelings through music, because I can play a piece all by itself and it could be 3 years old, 4 years old. I know exactly where I was when I did it or felt it, or kind of
Oh,
when the
wow.
chords came to me. It's almost really like an outer body experience for me and the piano. It's always been like that.
That's what I was going to ask, was about your song making, the process of it. How do you come up with that?
It hasn't been easy, but I've been like literally having mirror time with myself. Like, okay, I thought me not knowing how to go about this, or
Mhm.
can't finish a song in time for myself, was a bad thing. But what I've been doing lately is whatever the process is, or the story, or the stuckness, I'm just adding it on. Even if I record something on Logic and I do a trill or I mess up on the piano or something, if
Mhm.
it don't sound terrible, I keep it there because it's like, okay, this must be
That's what's
on
supposed to go there.
purpose.
Right.
Whatever. Like, I literally told myself, like, I gotta stop trying to play God and just relax and let it be what it's gonna be. Because otherwise
Right.
I find myself just like I do with my page or YouTube, or even if I'm doing homework, I'd be like, this is it. No, this isn't it. And I never get done.
Yeah. See, now you already know I'm the same way with that. If I stare at something too long, I start switching stuff around, stuff starts getting
Mm-hmm.
all over the place. And that's definitely something that I feel I could work on myself, is just go with your first instinct, go
Yep.
with your gut. Like if it's there, just let it be. Just let it be
I
there.
tell people, like, it's gonna change. We change every day. We were created to constantly move. So if
We're
today
creative.
I'm doing this and tomorrow I'm not, that's my business.
I mean, we're creative individuals, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Humans are creative. So, you know, I mean,
Right.
that's bound to happen, but we're getting ready to go to a break really, really shortly here. And then we're gonna come back, and you know what, Keys? I would just love to hear all about behind the 35 keys and the plan you have for that. So we're gonna save that. Guys, go ahead and tune into the break. We'll be right back. Calling all waivers, listen up. Iyanla here, formerly known as the Baldy Babe. If you know me, then you know that I took very good care of my 360 waves, but it was hard trying to find a product that worked for me, which is why I want to tell you all about the Wavy Department, an all-natural hair product line offering a variety of products and supplies for all hair types. Products like the moisturizing shampoo bars and herbal oil are customer favorites and will have you seeing results within 30 days of use. How amazing is that? So if you're tired of your waves feeling dry and brittle, or you're simply wanting to fill in those thinning areas, check out the Wavy Department today. Purchase your products and supplies by visiting www.wavydepartment.com. I hope you're not done counting your blessings, because I'm about to add another one to your list. Anointed Hands Hair Care is an all-natural and organic hair product line helping to restore your hair and scalp effortlessly. Their anti-itch oil and pomade is perfect for preventing dandruff, adding shine, and supporting growth while delivering essential botanicals to areas affected by hair loss. It's as if the products were sent from heaven. To get your hands on Anointed Hands Hair Care, visit www.anointedhands.shop and follow Anointed Hands Hair Care on all social media platforms. You won't regret purchasing from Anointed Hands Hair Care, blessing others with quality products and services. All right, everybody. So welcome back from the break. So again, I'm here with 35 Keys, and she's getting ready to tell us all about behind the 35 keys. So go ahead, tell us what that's about, because I'm actually really excited for this, because I know it's coming with a lot. So go ahead and tell us, what's your plan with behind the 35 keys?
Okay, so behind the 35 keys is me, 35 keys, coming from behind the keyboard and coming up to the mic to speak about some other things, like people always associate me just with music, or like that's the only thing on earth I can do,
Mm.
or that I love. And I understand and I get it and I have love for it. But there's so much more like for me to do on this earth, and
Right.
I'm gonna do it. So it's a series of my life, of my experiences in the past, trauma, healing, family, individuality, sexuality, just different aspects of life. Like I'm always having conversations with people via internet. So they're just like, you would be a great big sister to someone or great big cousin. And
Right.
you're not afraid to talk about some of this stuff. Like my parents or my family would kill me. And I'm like, well, that's not my story. So like I'm gonna get out here and we're gonna talk about it, because I just learn that I'm not alone with these topics and these feelings. And there's other people my age, younger, older than that,
Hmm.
older, that can truly like relate and understand. And I think the more we bring attention to some of these topics, the more we can work on it and try and change it. Like there's young people who feel like this happened to me, or my life is like this and it
Hmm.
will never change. And then there's older folks feeling like that, or my mama or daddy did this, or my dreams became this, and they
Mm.
just give up. And I don't want it all to be, this drama filled type of conversation. Like I want to have regular talks with people, or just see where people are at and network with people and see what's going on besides the music or besides the art, you know,
And I mean,
that we
that's
have as
important.
creatives.
That's important right now, especially right now with
Right. How you doing
everything.
mentally?
Yeah, like with everything that's been going on, I feel like, especially the Black community, we have become more focused, I feel, more than ever on mental health now that we've all been like locked in our houses and forced to
Yeah.
like sit at home with ourselves and realize like, wow, this person that I've been living with for 20 years, we actually don't get along. Or, wow, I don't really like what I see when I wake up in the morning. Or, wow, I want this for myself. I want that for myself. How am I going to get it? What have I been doing for the past 20 years of my life? It's like all the distractions have now been taken away, and we're forced to actually sit amongst ourselves and look in the mirror and just realize how much we don't have it together. At least for me, you know what I'm saying? Like I had to really
I
realize, like,
felt that.
what? Like, wow, life has been moving so fast. We go to work, we clock into our 9 to 5s, we come home, same old routine. But now that some of that stuff is starting to be, put on pause or taken away, it's just like, wow, like I really did not have a plan. You know what I'm saying? I did not have a plan for
Mm-hmm.
myself. I realized, and with you speaking on, healing and trauma, like I realized that there's a lot that triggers me that I had to really soul search and figure out, like, okay, why is it that every time somebody says something like that, it bothers me that much? Or why is it that I wake up in the morning and I feel this way about myself? Or I say these types of things to
Right.
myself, or treat people the way I treat people, or whatever it is, that people are going through. I mean, now is the time to heal. I'm big. I'm right there with you when you say like we need that. We need that, especially people, I'm not going to say especially people our age, because everybody needs it, but
Right.
we're the upcoming leaders. You know what I'm saying? We're the upcoming leaders. So I feel like, that's going to be super, super good. And I mean, me and you talk all the time about social media. We talk about social media and the effects. How do you feel social media has affected you since this pandemic has started? Because I mean, now everybody's on Instagram,
Everybody and
TikTok,
their mother.
Facebook, right? Like everybody is, marketing themselves on here now. So how do you feel the pandemic has affected you in regards to, social media, trying to expand your business, trying to, turn your brand into something? What's that process been like for you so far?
It's definitely been a little interesting for several reasons, because I'll speak on a positive note first. I think um it has allowed me to see that like people are so much more than what I thought. I enjoy personally watching people's stories, to see what they're eating or where they're visiting or what they actually do. Like some people
Yeah.
complain about it or people post too much. So just that, I think it's beautiful because it's like, girl, I didn't know you was into that. Or
Right.
sir, come through, like do this more. Like I respect that part. And it helps me to see people kind of for who they are or who they're pretending to be. Now the conversation
Right.
shifts. And then the other aspect, it's been a little toxic. Like I literally have to move people out. And people were just telling me before, why did you let go of an account with 4,000 something followers? And now you're starting over with 300 something. I'm like, because my mind needed that. Like the pandemic has allowed people to be on their phones a little more than usual. And some of the stuff I've been seeing, it's, I have compassion now. It took some months, but before I was just like, what is wrong with you? Or why are you posting this? Or why are you saying this? Or what do you mean? And now I'm
Right.
just like, behind the 35 keys, like people are still learning, don't know what to do. um Everybody's a creator now.
Man.
Everybody's modeling, everybody's taking pictures, like everybody's trying to find something to do, or they've been trying to do it or wanting to do it, and seeing 100 million people doing it now, they're like, I'm gonna go, let me
And you know, I
start.
really think influence has played a major role in a lot of this.
Mm,
Because I can even say with myself, there's times where, you know, you get on Instagram or one of these social media platforms and you see how a certain person is posting and it might be bringing the engagement for them. So you're like, okay, let me
mm-hmm.
alter, you know, maybe I should alter my little thing a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And you start getting into this like comparison mode and you're just you just
And it
really
kills you.
it starts killing you because you're just like, look, man, first of all, most of the time when you are, you know, influenced by somebody, or shoot, some people even copy other people 100%, you know, color, page, layout, whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of the times when people are doing that, with people not really having a passion for it, they're just seeing it as like a quick come up. It normally
Mm.
kind of starts to fade off and fail, and you know, stuff just starts going left. But I think one of the biggest things that this pandemic with social media has taught me is there's just a lot of people that don't know who they are. Like there's a lot of people that are trying to figure out their identity, figure out their niche. Like
Mm-hmm.
people
Hell, it
really,
taught me that.
yeah, like people really just don't know who they are. And so they're trying to, you know, figure it out. I mean, I could say I was one of those people, you know, I started off as a waiver. And once I got rid of that, I had to realize, like, okay, look, you have all these other talents, but because I was so consumed into being the body babe, I kind
Mm-hmm.
of pretty much everything else kind of went out the window. You know what I'm saying? So I had to kind of rebrand myself and figure out, like, okay, who are you? What do you like to do besides brush your hair? Like, what skills do you have? I mean, you went to school, you did this, you did that. Like, come on, figure this out and show the world, you know, what it is that you're good at. And I feel like a lot of the times, you know, people were so caught up on trends. Everybody kind of wants to do what's popular. And you know, I seen a post on Instagram the other day and it said that all the Instagram posts, you can tell the vibe on Instagram is like forced nowadays. Like people are just
Mm-hmm.
forcing the content because they just need something to post. They just want to stay in there. But it's just like after a while, you do start to feel that vibe. Like, look, you're just posting to post something, aren't you? Like, you know,
Mm-hmm. You don't want to lose the audience retention. You don't want your likes to go
right,
down.
right.
The Instagram setup has changed. And I feel like it's hard nowadays because it's like you may have something genuine or like I've seen people who were giving like juicy, poetic captions that truly meant how they felt. And now it's only one word, like less is better. Nobody reads nowadays, or you know what, I really like this picture, but nobody's gonna like it because this preset is not on it, and I
Mm,
didn't get enough light on my face. Like it's damaging in many ways. Like if you don't know what you want, and also if you don't have the audience, I guess, that you want, you're kind of like just swimming.
right. Right. Just waiting for that moment. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And I feel like, I mean, shoot, a lot of us do that, at least on social media, you know,
Yeah. Or
people
I
are
didn't
just
get enough likes
posting.
or
Yeah. And I mean, I felt myself for a while, and you know, I was kind of just I felt myself just going insane over it because I'm just like, dude, like
same.
what was my mindset like before I got into Instagram? You know what I'm saying? Or before I got into this influencer lifestyle. I did not care to go out with my hair looking however. I didn't care to go out not having my lashes on. I didn't care that that I didn't have the nicest outfit on. Like I was just unapologetically me before
Right.
I became an influencer. And then it's like once you get into this social media thing, it's like now everything you do is for the gram or for TikTok or for Twitter, Facebook, the likes, the shares, the comments. And
YouTube.
yeah, like everything is just based around that. And it's like you lose your sense of self. I mean, you lose your sense
Right.
of self. So with especially I feel like, you know, with you and the music, how hard has it been since you said you restarted your page? How hard has it been for you now to get people to see you, notice you? Because I mean, we both know the time's gonna come. Somebody's gonna see you somewhere on there. But what are some things that you're telling yourself, you know, when you're uploading that video or you're uploading that picture? What are some things that you're telling yourself to keep you from deleting it or starting over or scratching the idea? What are some things that you're telling yourself?
Well, sometimes I still delete because I still like to share segments. That's why I tell people I'll try my best to like put stuff on my stories so at least we can keep up that way. But some
Mm,
stuff is just like, this is really personal for me. And I feel like it's not going to be really respected on my page. So I'll give you what you said this is, you know, 35 keys. You need to put out a bass cover, or you need to do something piano, or we need to see when your music is coming out, or you know, I'm like,
right.
okay, y'all giving all the orders and stuff, but I'm gonna have a little say so in this type of thing. And it's been harder, less people, but the best part about it was I took time. Like I know every single
Mm,
person I'm following.
mm,
And I know what's on their
nice.
page, or I'll look and I'll try my best to really engage. Like I have people I've connected with, especially when I started posting some videos and some reels. Reels do something to you, you know. Like
Yeah.
it brought in a little audience, and it was like, okay, they actually watched my little 15, 30 seconds. So they know what I'm
Nice.
doing. They commented and they're messaging me like, you're dope, or I really like that cover, or do more. You get a follow.
Nice.
And I feel like that authentic build up, even if it's 300 people, 200, 500, or 1,000, if I know everybody or the majority of you guys are here for me or what I'm doing, or you
Mhm.
understand, or at least our vibes coincide, that when the time comes, like I'll at least remember. Or if you have a business or
Right.
something, I don't care if I'm a celebrity.
That connection
If
is there.
you are right, you're a genuine good person, I like your business or your music or something, I'll freely try and find a way to bring you up too or promote, because I feel like people say what they want. Beyonce is the advocate for other Black people. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what you do, what genre it is. If she likes the vibe, she likes the energy, and she feels this quality there, she'll gladly bring you on. And I think that's beautiful. And it's always Black people. Imagine
Yeah.
if all of us did that.
Did the
No
same, right?
competition, no comparison, just
Just help
you're
put each
dope.
other on. Exactly.
Right.
Because I mean,
What a
I
better.
already told people, you know, when I get married or have any type of special event and I need the piano, I mean, I know who I'm calling. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like,
I will
I'm gonna
be
need
there, no
you. I'm gonna need
charge.
you. I'll probably, like, honestly, like when I'm walking down the aisle, I'll probably need you to go ahead and do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gonna have a whole little thing. It's already up here.
Hey.
It's
We're gonna
already
be
up here.
vibing with Iyanla, right?
Exactly. So
Okay.
go ahead and before you know we get to the end of this here, I want you to give advice to the people out there that you know are playing instruments, that are writing music, you know, that might not have the connections or you know the social media following or whatever it is. Let's say they're just starting. What advice
Mhm.
would you give a young musician that's just getting into this, that you know, maybe they're playing the piano, the bass? What advice would you give them in order for them to turn this into their career, just like how you're trying to do right now?
I would definitely say make sure you are the sole person, the owner. Treat everything as a business. Like if you have an idea, whether it's the cover you want to post, the picture of yourself, the caption, do that, because people respect more that, okay, I've never seen a page like this, or that base cover didn't sound like nothing else I've heard. Like that piano cover, it wasn't perfect, but oh my gosh, you were genuine enough to like share that experience with us. And I love it. And now I'm gonna try, because you just starting, and that was great. You know, like you have to like literally sometimes allow yourself to show the errors and the mistakes, because people
I
always
like
feel
that.
like Chloe or Beyonce or this person is a one take. And some of them do. Like I've heard stories about Whitney, this and that. I'm not Whitney. You're not
Right.
Whitney. We have to just kind of let things be. And I think it's important also to be inspired, but don't aspire to be someone else, because we don't know
I like that.
their process. We don't know how they genuinely feel about their music, their sound, their look. Like
Right.
DMX or this person, that person that is no longer with us, and they're claimed as greats, and we love their music and their vibes and stuff, but they were suffering. Take care of your mental first, and then, you know, find a way. Strategically, I feel like what worked for me with my last page, I did not care really what other people were posting or how they were playing certain songs. I just knew that I was playing it a little differently, and it worked. Do what you feel is best. Find hashtags. Hashtags are your best friends. That's how other people see it.
Yeah.
Tag people. If someone's following you and you're afraid to tag them or ask them to share your stuff, you should unfollow them, because what's the point? You know,
I like that.
like if seriously you see it all the time, like people will be on social media, nobody supports me, or watch when I make it. That energy comes from genuinely someone saying, dang, that was my friend, or I've shared their stuff. Why
Right.
can't they just, you know, help me out? Like I'm doing this. And it be people sometimes in the same field, like will not
Right.
get support back from someone they genuinely be
Well, because
vibing
like
with.
you
And it's
said,
just
people
like
compete, you know, people compete, people
mhm.
hate. So like you said, I
But
mean, that goes
that
hand in
energy
hand.
ain't needed. Like
Yeah. I'm with
just,
that.
you know, network as much as you can, find hashtags, tag people, and don't be afraid to want a celebrity to see your stuff. That was my biggest fear at first.
Yeah,
I'm
tell
like,
us about
they
that
are not
moment.
going to dare look at this stuff. I've had even recently with this new page, I've had Chloe Bailey watch my story,
What?
Willow Smith, different people. Like I'll tag them just to see, or just a
Wow.
cover or something, and they're looking, and I'm just like, no, I was scared with the
Now you see
4,000
me.
followers. Where did I get this guts? Right. And then I guess my greatest, I'm gonna keep trying till I get it or I can do it moment was my Earth, Wind, and Fire video of 2019. Like me posting reasons. I was just in school one day and my friend was like, you don't post nothing. And I was like, I know. I don't know what to post and people ain't gonna watch it. Da, 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 da. And she was like, well, we could go into the sound room or whatever. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna play this old song. You don't know it. And I'm just like, record, let's go. So we did like 3 or 4 takes and I'm like, oh, I don't like that one more time. And I'm done. And she was like, that one had a little groove to it. She was like, post it. I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know. She said, post it. And I was like, okay, I'll post it. And I woke up and it was like the greatest rush of wind on my feed. And I was like, what happened? And my friend was like, Earth, Wind, and Fire shared your video. And I was just like,
What? I would have been like, I made it.
Mama, I made it. And that's the crazy part. The one person I didn't tell was my mom, and she was so mad. But at the time, like I was staying with my mom and my cousin, and like my cousin would hear me in our rooms like next to each other. Like I'm always working on covers or different stuff. So I was just like, I shared it. He was like, I know, I saw it, and that was
Wow.
just so dope for me. It was just powerful, like to see people commenting on it. And it
Right.
was older people. They were like giving some acknowledgement back to the youth, like, oh, what you know about that? or dang, she actually was playing the piano part and the
Right.
bass part. You know what? There's hope. I was like, there's
Right.
hope.
And I was gonna say, I know that was probably for you. And I mean, even with the other celebrities you mentioned that, you know, have seen, even just watched, because I mean, first of all, that does not happen to everybody
They
every
ain't got to
day.
click.
You know, they do not have to click
Right.
on it and see what you're about. So, you know, that right there is amazing. But I know with the celebrities watching, I mean, I know that gives you motivation to just keep going, because I mean, the amount of celebrities that have already noticed you, and I mean the people that you've worked with, the connections you've made, like something is definitely in the works. You know what I'm saying? Something is definitely in the works for you.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited to see the journey from here, to be honest.
Actually, unfollowed a lot of celebrities. I think I'm following 2 now because I noticed that with my last account, I was very hooked and wanted celebrities to see it so they can share and I can get a following or we can work together. And that was a job in itself, and it was mentally toxic.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably just to the point where it's like, look, just do you, and whoever's meant to be there will hit you up. They will come to you. They will shoot you
Right.
a DM like, look, 35 Keys, I need you on this track, or hey, I want to collab, or whatever they end up hitting you up.
Right.
But I know for a fact it's coming for you, and I'm super, super, super excited for everything you got to come. Go ahead and tell the people where they can follow you on the social media platforms so they can hear the greatness that I have already heard from the Keys.
Well, this is a stay tuned process, but I do have some covers up. So first we'll start with YouTube. I have 35 Keys for just about every platform, TikTok, Twitter. I'll be more on my political and my feelings type vibes. That's what Twitter's for. Facebook, I left it out because Facebook's a little dead to me, or I haven't learned how to use it correctly.
I was gonna say, I don't
Y'all
think
forgive
I really
me.
use Facebook anymore.
And then on the other aspect behind the 35 Keys, also now, as of today, has a website. We do have a TikTok page.
Nice.
We have the Instagram account, and it's linked to YouTube. And that will be a YouTube watch. That's just about it where you can find me. Again, it's at 35 Keys, and then the other one is behind the 35 Keys. 2 different segments, all from the same creator. And I'm excited for whoever wants to tune in, join in.
Yes.
It's definitely going to be a good journey. And I'm excited.
Make sure that you all follow 35 Keys, because I guarantee you will hear her covers and you will sit there and vibe. I mean, how she has everything set up, everything's good. Like she be vibing, you all. Her music.
And original music soon.
Original music.
Not ready.
Yes.
I've been in the studio literally. Yes, I've been almost every other Friday. I've been in the studio. I take my ideas from this room and I'll go to a location with my producer and be like, here, and we'll just draft it out, make edits. And for me, it's amazing feeling because again, I'm doing everything in my room. Like people don't be believing me. Like I'm playing the piano parts, the bass part, I'm writing my lyrics. And that's where I'm at now. Like I want to learn all the aspects because I'm dope now, like me, myself, and I. And it's good to work with someone, but it's good to know your own business, how to record your own stuff.
I mean, you're the one woman band
show.
One woman band. Thank you so much, 35 Keys, for being a guest on Vibin with Iyanla. And of course, I feel like later on in the future we're gonna have to get you on here again when the music drops. That way the people can hear how you coming, because I'm telling you all, if you go to her page, go to her YouTube, any of her social media accounts, you all will just enjoy her vibe. Her vibe is so different. Like we need it. So
I appreciate that. I feel that.
Thank you for being a guest. Please feel free to follow Vibin with Iyanla on all social media platforms. And until next time, I'm going to continue to bring you the good vibes, the good music, and the good conversations. Later, everybody.
Yeah, we vibing with Iyanla.